Hello and welcome to Community Career Promoter special presentation. Our special presentation today is in light of the new year around the corner and the Christmas holiday. And thank you for joining us on this special presentation today. I would like to know you more. Please introduce yourself in the chat room by giving your full name and the city you're joining us from. Thank you for coming, everyone. This is a special presentation by Community Career Promoter. Our webinar host is Community Career Promoter. Community Career Promoter inspires career advancement seekers to achieve their highest human potential, connects career advancement seekers with local career resources, service all people who seek career advancement. You'd like to know more about Community Career Promoter, visit the website at communitycareerpromoter.org. And here's a friendly message from Community Career Promoter. If you are seeking career advancement or if you know someone seeking career advancement, I encourage you to contact the nearest American Job Center. You can find in every state, and you can locate your nearest center. And also, I'd like you to also visit the American Job Center website at www.careeronestop.org for information and a lot of resources that you can find. Today's presentation is presented by our generous sponsors, our webinar sponsors. One of them is Impact Management and IT Solutions. Impact Management and IT Solutions provides simplified solutions, management services from start to completion, information technology services from basic to complex based on customers' needs. To know more about Impact, visit the website at www.impactmits.com. Our other general sponsor is Addis Solutions. Solutions provides digital marketing, including website development, print and online promotion materials, online marketing, and advertising. To know more about Addis Solutions, visit addissolutions.com. Our other general sponsor is Azib Alele Promo Club LLC. Azib Alele Promo Club is an international business promoter. Services include B2B global network, top-level music promoter, nonprofit promoter. Visit Azib Alele at the website provided, Azib Alele telepromoclub.com. And our other general sponsor is ICAT Professional Services. ICAT, making your people and data greater. ICAT Professional Services is your partner for professional development, talent source, data analytics, and societal impact. Service offerings by ICAT include Career Academy, outsourcing, staffing and recruitment, applied data analytics, social enterprise. To know more about ICAT, please visit icat.net. Here's a small reminder about the webinar tools. Please stay muted until it's your turn to speak. And this is an audio-only session, so please turn off the videos. You can use the chat room to ask questions, comments, agreements, or disagreements, and you can also raise your hands. Thank you again, everyone, for joining. I will direct you to our special presentation. My name is Leon, and I'm going to introduce Gabe Hamda to share with us 10 professional behaviors that accelerate your career and make our world a better place. Dr. Gabe.
You want me to say something, right?
Yes, please.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Sion. Thank you so much for introducing me and for doing such a fantastic job of introducing everything Career Promoter and all these delightful sponsors do. So
thank you. Thank you, Gabe.
I'll be in my best behavior, answer your questions.
Okay. Gabe, I know you like to share your joy of the day. What is your joy of the day? Who is Gabe Hamda? And I'd like you to tell us, you always come up with new things you want to share. What are you up to today? And why is this important?
Fantastic. Well, Sion, I may ask you your joyous moments. We just prepare as I share mine. So I like to begin a lot of conversations with sharing my joyous moments and asking people to share their joyous moments. I'm sure many of you have been subjected to that. Mark and I have a conversation this afternoon. He's joining us for the first time, and I'll be asking him, so Mark, prepare your joyous moment of the day. So let me just kind of get going with that. So my joy of the day is my wife made me my favorite breakfast. And I think maybe the highlight of that is 3 days ago, I discovered this coffee thermostat. I'm Florida State. I'm I'm not a fan. I'm Florida State. So that's kind of my school. And my favorite Florida State mug slash thermostat. So I have coffee in there instead of warming coffee now and then. It's all there for me the whole day. I have hot coffee. So I think that's my joyous moment among many. Not to mention, I think we have, I have not seen Mark in many years. So, to visit with him is another joy. And also Indy joining us from Tampa. We just met about a week ago, and the newest member. So just to see many of you here is my joy of the day. So why don't I stop for a minute? Sion, you want to share your joy of the day? Let's spread the wealth.
Sure. My joy of the day started early this morning, looking outside with the bright sunshine, a beautiful day. I usually like to walk early in the morning, and especially today, it's a little warmer than the previous days. It's like almost 54, 53 degrees. So I enjoyed my walk this morning, and that's my joy of the day. Thank you for asking.
Perfect. You know what? I can encourage everyone, maybe in the chat box, you can just share your joy of the day, something personal. Maybe you got a promotion, maybe you had a fantastic breakfast. Whatever it is that made you happy today, please go ahead and share. And later on, maybe we'll pick a few, and that may be a winning lotto number. So with that, let me get to the second question you asked me. You said, who is Gabe Hamda? So I just want to share, that's a great question, and I answer that question every day. And I think for today's guests, I just want to say three things about me. So I think I'm about joy. So joy in whatever you got, okay? Hey, if what you got is coffee, joy about that coffee. If you have a job, hey, joy in that job. If you have a family around, joy about that family member. you live in Florida or you live in Kansas, whatever you are, joy about that. So it's kind of like to see, so I'm a guy who gets joy out of whatever situation I'm in. And I like to see that in people. So when people express some kind of misery, I try to remind them whatever is in their life. If you have a very old car, my goodness, you have a car. So I think I'm about joy. The second thing is, I would say I'm about, connecting with your inner strength, which kind of connects with joy again. Kind of like there may be things you are not amazing about, but there are a few things you are good at, to focus on that. So I'm about that, to remind people and organizations what's going for them, so they are more fulfilled. Another thing is, I'm also about harmony. Harmony is not only with people you get along with, but kind of harmony within our differences. For example, Tiffany lives in Arizona. We may not have a whole lot in common. Harmony is kind of find what we have in common and just create harmony. Peace, that's my definition of peace. So I find myself, around harmony with people we are different from. And, kind of focusing on the strength you have as opposed to the weaknesses, and also joy with what you got. So those are things I always talk about, think about, focus on. So that's in a nutshell, Gabe Hamda. So what am I up to today, Zion? I want to share these 10 professional behaviors that accelerate your career and make our world a better place. So I just want to, I believe almost all of you know Maya Angelou, right? So as I mentioned her name, this is maybe one way we memorialize her. She's just one of my favorite people on earth. And I connect with her literally every day in kind of what she said. So if you maybe jot down what you think about Maya Angelou, there's something Maya Angelou said, which is, people may forget what you said. People may even forget how you said it, but they will remember what you made them feel. So I think it's something to do with that. So when we practice these professional behaviors, it's kind of the people around us come alive and we add value to their lives. So that's kind of why I'm sharing. And with that, Sion, you can get to, I think that's, this is where you want me to, I think you can go ahead with the question first. Next.
Yeah, it's a very interesting topic you picked, Gabe, because your presentation topic is 10 professional behaviors that accelerate your career and make our world a better place. What are these professional behaviors, and what is the connection between accelerating your professional career and making our world a better place?
Fantastic. All right. So let me kind of get down to the 10 professional behaviors we're talking about today. So responsiveness, proactiveness, resourcefulness, flexibility, communication, quality of work, timeliness, teamwork, professional development, and sense of humor. So, when you practice, I mean, we all know these, and I know these, and I'm good in some and not so good in others. So when these professional behaviors are fully developed, for one, I believe my own career has advanced, accelerated the more I practice these. And also the more I'm fulfilled and the more my career is accelerated, I can make a difference in the world. I mean, if my own career and my own life is, falling into pieces, there is little I add. So when I'm alive and my career is in good shape, I can make a difference in the world we live in. So that's kind of the connection. So later on, I'll be sharing examples. So I'm not going to lecture you what each one is. All of you can really, if I sit with you, you will tell me all of these So I'll just give you some examples, samples of people who kind of inspired me to share this, because when I work with people and when I see that behavior, it really makes my day. Since I told you I'm about joy, right? I'll just give you a little sample. My wife Jenny is really known for being prompt, and I'm gonna leak this information. So mostly, we work together, and when she runs meetings, our meetings are usually 1 hour. Guess what? She gets the meeting done in 30 minutes. That really inspired me. That made my day. So one day when she gave me an opportunity to lead a meeting, and she was away, and she said, hey, can you run this meeting for me? I'm usually the guy who takes an hour and more. But that day, with inspiration from her, guess what? I think Sion was there, and so was Stephanie, and I was able to finish maybe 10 minutes, I'm exaggerating, 7-8 minutes earlier than 30 minutes. So that really made my day. I just bragged about it. When she came back, I said, hey, Jen, I was able to do the meeting 10 minutes less than you did. So that really makes my day when I see a person demonstrate these professional behaviors.
Awesome. Those are great behaviors that we all can benefit from. Thank you for sharing, Gabe. What inspired you anyway to share about professional behaviors to the community? Usually people talk about or focus on technical skills and abilities and knowledge. I mean, these are common and there's nothing wrong with that. But your topic is different, and why did you choose this topic to share?
Wonderful. So that's a great question. So it's kind of like, think about it. So I'd like for each of you to think, why are these professional behaviors important? There are technical skills, public health, and, there is information technology, there is engineering, there is construction, project management, all these amazing technical skills. And of all these amazing skills, why is someone talking about professional behaviors? So what inspired me is, these are really things that make or break a person's career. I know in my own career, if I can just tell you one quick story, most of I have a PhD from in instructional design from Florida State. And one time I hired an intern, maybe I can reveal, from a rival school, from University of Florida, an intern. Guess what? This intern I hired, actually, I remember I hired her working for a company. Maybe I'll spare you the name of the company. $10 an hour was the pay, when I hired her. And guess what? Within a year, this intern was 3 levels than where I was. 3 levels than where I was. Well, at the time, I had so many things to blame. She's of a different skin color. Oh, because she is white and I'm black and I'm an immigrant and I have this. At the time, I said all of them. And guess what? As I reflected more over many years, it is, I think she grew up in professional behaviors that set you up for success. So I think kind of watching people with amazing technical skills who are not advancing and others who are advancing, just really to, shake myself up and shake others to say, hey, there are these small, intangible, little things that may annoy people, that sabotage you. So it is really to kind of impress on myself and others. So the more I talk about it, the more I'm even getting better. So that's kind of my motivation. And that's what I wanted to share with our community, where there are a lot of people are very skilled, very educated, but these little professional behaviors are the magic that connect everything.
Wow, excellent. Yeah, these are great points that me and a lot of people, maybe our audience also can benefit from. Would you explain the what and the why of your presentation? In other words, what are you talking about and why is this important?
So I think, this topic, everyone has opinion about it. Everyone has knowledge, you practice. Sion, let me tell you what I did. When I put this together about a week ago, I started having a one-on-one self-assessment with different people. So, and I think you are probably the first person, right? You and I,
Yes.
you did your self-assessment. I did self-assessment. In some areas, you said, Gabe, I think you're really fantastic in this area. I said, you are good in this area. So, kind of exchange, and I did that with different people. So this is not, a totally foreign concept. So what I think what I want to do, Sion, is on each one, I'll just give you examples, just like I did early. I mentioned the school I went to, the degree I have, an intern I hired from University of Florida. My goodness, for someone from Florida State to say University of Florida really hurts, right? But I did it, and that intern just rose through the ranks, through the roof. So I'll give examples of names that you'll not forget. So Tiffany, if you can, move the slide to the next one. Responsiveness, which is kind of addressing what is requested. And that I found that to be such a boring thing, to do what people ask you to do. I always thought, I knew better, right? Being arrogant. And there are two women who really impressed me. They are my colleagues, Patty Robertson and Missy Carter. So they do our operations. And so they are mostly about compliance. And they always do what our clients want us to do, like in invoicing, they follow the instructions, and guess what? We get paid on time. So that's kind of what responsive is. When you are in compliance, you get what you want. But when you are like me, questioning, this makes no sense, I'm going to do it my way, it doesn't happen. So responsiveness is whatever is asked is do it with a compliant mind. So that's what that is. So you remember Patty and Missy. They always keep me in line, being compliant. Gabe, I know you are imaginative. I know you are creative. On this one, we have to do the way our customers want. We need to pay someone the way they want to be paid. Some people want direct deposits. Some people want us to mail them a check. Just do it the way they ask, and you'll do very well. Tiffany, next slide. That's an example. So, perhaps instead of just me talking, you can assess yourself as on these, maybe on a scale of, 1 to 10. That's what Sion and I and many other people have done. As I cover each one of them, you say, hey, on responsiveness, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm 7, I'm 3, I'm 10, I'm 15, you can evaluate yourself. So that it's just not me talking. I'll give you examples. Okay. Proactiveness is to kind of act on what you believe is needed without being prompted. So the two examples. I know when I mention these names, you're gonna know them. There are two women I work with. They happen to live in, Atlanta. Mary, it's not only you. You are fantastic. There are two other women. I think one of them, Laleda. One of them, I think she's gonna do some cooking for you, Anne. So these are two women who are project managers, work with one of our clients. And, I see this behavior. I think about a week ago, they anticipated, the client did not express a concern, but they anticipated our client is going to have a concern. And so they were talking to me how we can solve it before even the client speaks or realizes. And guess what? By the time the client knew that is an issue, it's already solved. So that is being proactive. So that's kind of what I see these two super women, Anne and Laleda, be able to do. So that's a winning professional behavior. And then you can just evaluate yourself. Are you proactive before something comes up? On a scale of 1 to 10. So maybe if you see, or Tiffany, if you see someone who is scoring 9 or 10, or maybe they can give us an example, you can, give my attention so that maybe we can acknowledge. Another, professional behavior, the next one is resourcefulness. Tiffany, if you can move to the next slide. Resourcefulness is to figure out how to get things done, So there are two of my colleagues, Mohammed, I believe he's in this session. There is Kimberly. So Mohammed and Kimberly work on this brand new project with very little instructions. So the two of them, I have to acknowledge Mohammed right here, did a lot of research, internet research, used some of the resources provided by our client, and then do the rest and come up with, ahead of schedule, come up with a deliverable. That's very impressive. And so that's what I consider figuring things out to get things done. So, Muhammad, kudos to Muhammad and Kimberly who made this happen. So you can, hey, how resourceful are you? Are you asking questions for definitions, or are you looking up, between YouTube and, Google and many online resources? Are you, exploiting everything that's out there? So that's kind of what that is. So you can self-evaluate. The next one is flexibility. We were ushered into an amazing presentation last night. So we heard career success stories by Mary and Deshaw and Marta Fokang. I hope I'm saying your name right. Yes. So that when the two women were sharing, I was so impressed, and I said, I don't know why I'm even doing this topic, because they just exemplify. It's not what they said. It's kind of like the examples they gave, and you kind of have a window into their lives. So I just want to, one example that just jumped out when I heard, Mary Ndeshaw share her story last night is flexibility. So flexibility is kind of expanding your worldview. So Mary Ndeshaw is a public health expert. Of the best kind. So I've heard her speak many times. We had dinner together with our friends. So she's just one of these bubbly, happy, super duper competent person. And when she shared her story of how flexible she was in her career when things were not going according to plan, that really was impressive. Including relocation. Relocation is inconvenient. Taking a pay cut, learning a new skill. She's a public health expert, and I believe at one point she said she became a barista. So just that kind of flexibility is what really impresses me, and to see that kind of behavior. So maybe you can just look at yourself and say, hey, how flexible am I on a scale of 1 to 10? Am I flexible? Am I stuck in my way? Am I willing to expand my worldview? Am I willing to learn new skills? So that's what that is. Yes. Next one is communication. So I'll tell you what, this is an area where, there are people I want to acknowledge. Some of the people I already mentioned. There is Patty and Lalita. There is a professor who lives in my community. His name is Dr. Brahanu, or Professor Brahanu, as I call him. And, every email he gets, he acknowledges, who responds. I think that behavior maybe, I get emails and I just don't respond. And I think after watching him, I said, I better respond. If someone sends me something, it's kind of letting them know the progress or expectations or wants. So I think, watching Professor Brown was just refreshing for me, and I've been trying to do more of it. One thing unique about, Patty and Lalita, my colleagues, is, in terms of, when I speak with them, they tell me what's going on. They tell me what they expect of me, and they also can say, hey, here's what I want. So it's kind of, communication is to readily share the progress you are making, what you expect from people, and your expectations, as well as what you want. So that's easier said than done. So that's an area where I can really work on. It's easy. I know the definition. I've seen it in action. It's practicing it. And maybe you can, rate yourself. And the next one is quality of work. So I have one example. So, quality of work is continuous improvement to meet or exceed expectations. And I have one colleague who really, really impressed me. His name is Jonathan Tessier. He lives in Colorado. So he's just one of the people I enjoy working with. So whenever we start a new project, he just doesn't jump to doing it. He would just think about it. He would ask questions. He would ask the reason behind the assignment so that he would get it. So he's one person, when he does work for me, he nails it the first time. Why? He asks questions. the motive behind it. He would, clarify. So he just nails it. He understands. And when he says, I'm dialed in, he's going to nail it. So that's kind of one thing I said. So quality of work is not, as some people say, doing it right the first time is not what it's about. Continuous improvement, making it better from time to time. So that's that. And perhaps you can rate yourself. Do you hit things? Do you get clear expectations so that you can meet or exceed expectations? Next one is timeliness. I think I gave an example of my wife Jenny. She finishes meetings in 30 minutes that are planned for 1 hour. And actually yesterday I was in a totally different meeting with a bunch of other people. The meeting was planned for 1 hour and I was leading it and I was able to get it done in 30 minutes. So that's, I think, as we're preparing for this, you asked the question whether this is contagious. It sure is. If you are surrounded by people who exemplify this, you say, hey, I want to be like them. So it's always good to be surrounded by amazing people. And the next one is teamwork. So this gives me teamwork and collaboration is, supporting others and seeking assistance to achieve mission. So it's about mission. So this forum that we are on, ladies and gentlemen, is Community Career Promoter. And it's made possible through teamwork, under the leadership of Sion, with Tiffany and Fasil working together, bringing in guests. And, we used to do this every week and now it is on a monthly basis. So this team does an amazing job. Sion as our leader, things are done on a regular basis in an orderly fashion and everyone is smiling, working together. So that's, hey, things in life are teamwork. And, the team that Sion leads with Tiffany and Fasil have really impressed me. So, hey, that's one that's really inspired me to come up with this one. Okay. Next one, personal, professional development. So it is building your strength and addressing blind spots. So, I think last night as I was listening to Mary and Martha, Martha Fokang, who is joining us now, I believe from Minnesota. One of the things that really stood out in her presentation is her passion to learn. So, to change her career and learn. I think she was talking about information technology and, she, learning from the foundation, I think she's a cloud consultant and knowing how traditional computers and internet work. So that passion to learn and to improve herself, the passion around it. I mean, it's one thing to learn, but to have the passion. When you are passionate, there is more of it coming your way. So it's kind of one thing that stood out about Martha, which can be an excellent example. So Martha, if you are here and if you don't mind maybe saying a couple of words about what you shared about, how you learn and, where the passion comes from, I'll give you an opportunity. Why not? If you are on mute, you can be unmuted. If you are in the room, see. She may not be here. She may be working. She has to work, right? Okay. So Martha, I have an opportunity to, to speak about this personal professional development. And Mary also, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but you were also sharing, some of the new skills you were able to acquire and how passionate you are about it. If you are in the room, if you don't mind, you can say a few words just so that people can, put a name and a face and an example together. Martha, you are here. I can hear you now. Martha and Mary, both of you.
Oh, hi, everyone. Nice session, Gabe. That was a very nice session. Though I got disconnected a little bit, I had a phone call from a colleague. Okay. Yeah.
So Martha, you want to share about, your path in, your passion for learning and what you did?
Okay, like my path. Okay. My name is Martha Joelle Fokang. I'm from Central Africa, specifically from Cameroon. So I live in Minnesota now, United States. I came here late 2017, so that's almost 3 years now. I currently work. I work from home now, but I'll be relocating to Pennsylvania, I guess. Yeah, after COVID. So, what can I say? Well, I
Martha,
started.
we wanted, I want to hear your passion for learning to get to where you are. Just that example, because I'm covering personal professional development as a professional behavior. So if you can just give an example of what you did to get to where you are.
Okay, so I started off studying accounting, and from accounting, I moved to getting my MBA in business administration. And like Gabe said, I have a passion for learning new things, and that is what has been guiding me throughout my journey. So after that, I have worked in some management fields, but as part of my career growth path, I kind of merged into IT, which is still part of my desire and my passion for learning. So I'm currently into IT. So I kind of transitioned from management to IT, and that's what I'm currently doing.
So, thank you so much, Martha, for, your presentation. We just met a couple of weeks ago. I'm so happy. I want to thank my cousin, Ambassa, for connecting me with Martha. And ever since, she came and presented last night with Mary, and also she mentored two of our interns. So we've been all over, right? So I really appreciate that spirit of, that contagious passion for learning is doing so much good, in my life and around me. So Mary, how about you? Can you shared some examples? If you can maybe say them here, they'll be inspiring. I'd love to hear them one more time, if you don't mind, if you have a minute.
Sure. So I think to speak to building, knowing your strengths, and then if you're not strong in something, building that, as well as looking at what the market is looking for and adapting yourself to that. So an example, like you said, flexibility earlier, I've relocated for a job twice. One of them was a volunteer position. If I think something is gonna get me closer to what I want professionally, I'm willing to do the work, whether it's moving or taking a pay cut or learning a new skill. An example of a new skill is I'm in public health. We didn't get training in informatics. I know how to analyze data. I know how to do a scientific study, but I don't necessarily know the bigger picture of how, data has become like a big commodity these days. And, there's people who store it and have whole databases for it. I didn't understand any of the bigger picture of how things functioned. But it seemed like on the job that was necessary to know when you work in agencies that have data coming in from all states as well as all over the world. So I made sure I went out and learned a programming language like SQL and R so that I can deal with larger data sets and also just understand the bigger structure of how informatics works, because informatics is in everything these days. So that's about me. I think I'm flexible. I'm always willing to learn. I love learning, whether it's a skill on the job or personal growth as well, knowing what I'm good at, knowing what I'm bad at. I said, for example, I was not a very assertive person, but I've learned to develop that skill because it's really important to be able to say what you want professionally, to set boundaries in your personal life is just key. So just different kinds of learning. I'm all about that. So.
Thank you so much, Mary, for sharing. So it just tell you what, our moderator from last night, Fasil, he was saying, you two ladies need to come back and share with us. And for those of you who are joining, I know that I'm kind of taking a small detour to do a little advertisement for Community Career Promoter. So we do monthly webinars, and we hear from amazing people like Martha and Mary and their stories. And quite frankly, I'm really inspired by them, and they just bring out the best in me. And so if you want to have that experience to just kind of continue to get better, so this is a place to be. Spend an hour with us, and perhaps you want to share. All of us have story to share. We are better when we share. So personal, professional development, nowadays there is nothing we cannot learn. Thanks to the Internet of Things, everything is right there. And as Martha has been telling us, it is having a passion to learn and to get better. So thank you both. So I'm on the last item. Sense of humor. You are either funny or you are not. I mean, that's kind of what the saying goes. But this is about really sense of humor is to kind of show up with the childlike playfulness. And we all were children at one time, and so to allow that childlike playfulness not to die, occasionally to show up, right? Because it creates ease for you, and does away with the stress, and it just makes it easy. So anyways, I work with one of the guys. I don't know if he's here, Mirwais. He's from Afghanistan. He's an intern with us, and my exposure to Afghanistan is very limited. Okay. So, I'm from Ethiopia, and that's kind of, except when I was in college in Ethiopia, one of my professors was from Afghanistan. So I remember having that amazing connection. So when Mirwais joined our team, something in me, just whenever we have a meeting, I just say, hey, tell us an Afghan joke. And he would just come up with it just like that. And so in the next meeting, we had a meeting with him and a few other people. I said, hey, can you tell us a clean Afghan joke? And he did. So I think what's about him is he was just ready to share. So just to have that, that lightness, and maybe at your cost or whatever it is, to share that, just, makes life so easy for people around you. And when you relax, good things happen, right? Good things happen. So that's that. Now, with that said, I'm going to turn it back to, my moderator, Sion, if you have any more questions. So these are, one thing I would say is, I'm sharing this not because I'm perfect in all of these. I'm work in progress in all of these. And as I get better, as I watch other people, just like I said, when I see Martha and her, passion for learning is something you do, but the passion is another dimension. And, with Mary, the flexibility, okay, to take a pay cut and, do something else and do something totally different from what you do. My goodness, that takes you to another level. So it's just an inspiration when you see people practicing these that I enjoy. With that said, Sion, back to you.
All right. Thank you. I want to ask you, what are the few steps one should take to master these professional behaviors? Because this may not come natural to everyone, or everybody may not be good at on all these 10 points. So what would you recommend? What are the easy steps that you can tell us, or the first few steps?
So you want the easy steps, right?
Of course.
I'm just chuckling because, I've been watching movies lately just because of where we all are. More than, I think in 1 year, I watched more movies in 1 year than movies I watched in my entire life. And my life is totally changed. And why am I mentioning that? I think there is kind of more like a Broadway kind of movie. It's called Annie. It's my favorite. If my family allows me, I would watch that almost every night. So there is a song called Easy Street. I don't know how many of you like it. So in my household, whenever we sing that song, we all chuckle. So easy answer. So I think that maybe the easiest one which I have done, like, many of you may have suggestions, some of better ways to incorporate this is the one thing I've done since I put this together. I've had sessions with different people to kind of like, give me feedback and also for them to self-assess. Maybe my favorite one is the assessment, I had with my wife. So it's kind of like on responsiveness. She gave me a score of 1 on a scale of 1 to 10. And she is so right. It's an eye opener. Like, when people ask me to do stuff, I don't answer those questions. I think of something else, like maybe there is a better question they need to ask. So she kind of helped me see myself, which is very true. And now she's telling me I'm kind of moving up to 3 or 4. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that, to have this kind of maybe self-assessment with someone who really knows you. Okay. So that was really helpful. So I had it with various colleagues. Just kind of like, they assess themselves and I assess myself and we exchange and areas where we can improve, and maybe in an area where I'm very hard on myself, someone says, I think you are better than what you are, self-assessing. I would say I'll just stop there because this is not rocket science. This is more practice and just, a family member, a spouse, a colleague, without feelings being hurt will be a good way to start. Easy steps. So, that's where I land on that.
Thank you. That helped a little bit. Okay, so Gabe, you are one of the highly successful people I know. How did your professional behavior lead you to your success? Did your professional behaviors contribute to your success personally?
Yes. So I would say, when you were asking that question, Sion, I was thinking of a time when I used to work for my professor, and as a graduate student, and we were doing a consulting run. So we'd go to an agency. I remember we were with I believe it was with the Department of Agriculture of Florida. So we used to go to this weekly meeting. So lack of this professional behavior got me fired from a project, Sion. The thing was, we're a bunch of us, and I just asked these smart alecky questions, too many of them. And my professor one day said, Gabe, you are uninvited from this engagement. So you are no longer on this one. So I was kind of pretty much fired from this project. So it's not lack of skills and not being smart. It's just how you come across and how you show up. So I think the more I'm attentive and demonstrate this, things have gotten better. And so that's my experience. And I would say, when things are not going right, it's easy to blame the person. Maybe, they don't like me. It's because, because of my nationality, my skin color, this and that. And, first look, what is it about me? What is it about the way I show up? What is it the way I come across? What is it about the way I make them feel is a good place to begin. So when I get rejected, I kind of feel angry and, everything else. And then when I look at the mirror, I say, you know what? Maybe I need to change my way, So, did I answer your question or did I just keep
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. There's a couple of questions in the chat room that I'd like to address.
And finally, WI. Microsoft Word is set to automatically enable any.
Can you mute yourself? Yeah, okay, thank you. Francis Open from Ghana is raising his hand. So if you could give a chance for them to ask a question. And also Mehret also asked if you can provide the list of these skills. I believe we're going to have this recording. We're going to post it, link it to the Career Promoter website. So it will be easily accessible.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Francis, go ahead.
All right, please. Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Francis Opai Tete, and I'm based in Accra, Ghana. I work with the Azitelele Promo Club. Thank you so much. Very insightful presentation. I really, really love the teaching. I have been blessed. My question has to do with the issue of teamwork and collaboration. There is an African proverb that says that when a heavy load is shared, it becomes lighter to carry. When a heavy load is shared, it becomes lighter to carry. But what I've realized or observed in our side of the world is that as you try to collaborate or work as a team, instead of complementing each other's effort to achieve the goal or the mission, the environment rather becomes competitive, an avenue for competition. And at the end of the day, we end up not achieving anything at all. I would like to ask Mr. Presenter, what do you do when a team, instead of complementing each other's effort, rather becomes very competitive and on doing each other and cutting each other down here and there? What do you do in such a situation? Thank you.
Francis, I appreciate you. Hey, listen, give everyone in Ghana my love. Tell them I love them. Can you do that for me?
Yes. I would do that. I would definitely do that. Thank you.
tell them Gabe loves you. That's kind of my usual line. So
I will surely do that. Thank you.
So I love your people. I love just how, you guys are, there is something about Ghana and gold. Am I right? What's the connection there? Ghana and gold.
Yes. Our country during the colonial era used to be called Gold Coast.
Gold Coast, there you go.
Because you could pick gold nuggets after rainfall in our water basins, and where there are runoff, you could pick gold nuggets. So our country used to be called Gold Coast, and after independence, we changed the name from Gold Coast to Ghana.
Gold Coast to Ghana. Okay, wonderful. Hey, listen, I'm just excited to talk to you and to hear from you. So let me, I like to invite everyone to chat your answer to Francis' question. But as I answer mine, I'm sure you have an answer. So if he can do that, we'll just maybe share with him, and I'll be happy to share a couple of things. I want to share two things. One is on the serious side, and one is on the lighter side. My wife and I have a goddaughter. She's 7, and one of our friends, one of our neighbors, she has an 8-year-old, and so the two of them, come to our house and play. So play dates. So. Nadia and Hannah. So we play cards, we play Uno. So Nadia is very competitive. She gets upset when she loses. She's 8. And so I am the opposite, Francis. Even when I play card with my wife, I enjoy when I lose. So and so I work with, so anyways, back to Nadia, who is very competitive and who gets upset when she loses. So maybe I'm telling you a little bit of a secret. So I just intentionally lose the game so that she will be happy and wins every time. So I was talking to one of my clients, and I told the story, and I said, listen, I let her win. I'm very happy when she wins, and I'm very happy when I lose. And she said, listen, maybe you are setting her up, like how about in real life, everything is not a win. What do you do? So this past weekend, we played cards, and I want to change a little bit of my way. So we said, hey, listen, so I think I modeled the fact I'm very happy when I'm not winning. So between Hannah, who is 7, we're sharing with Nadia, how about, hey, if someone wins, you congratulate them. So we talked her into it. She got on. So, and at one point I won, and she was so excited to congratulate me. So we told her mom, Marble, that, hey, your daughter is now a different person. Now, although she is competitive, she congratulated me and she congratulated Hannah. So that's just a small, experiment I've done on the home front. And one thing I say is, I also work with one of our clients. One of our clients is actually our competitor. My company, ICAT Professional Services, in the training business. And one of our clients is a competitor. They do exactly what we do. So my approach with them is, to be mission focused and to be loyal and to be humble while working with them. So we've been doing business for the last 7 years. So what am I saying? So I think there is maybe by the team, to focus on mission. By the way, Francis, we have another webinar we are doing next week, next Thursday, exactly on this topic on, it's one team always concept, focus on the mission. When two groups have a common mission, it kind of helps. So kind of focus on the mission. You and I may be on two sides. What do we have in common? Let's say if you and I are playing cards, if the object of playing this card is to have a good time, how about can we agree to having a good time regardless of who wins? Or let's say if we are building a country and there are competitive parties, which I'm sure that you guys can relate to what I'm saying. We have a country together, we have the world together, and we may see things differently. So what's the common area? I know this is easier said than done. So I want to hear if others have any solutions. And if I think of some resources, Francis, I'll be happy to send you. There is one article I want to send you. One of my professors, Bruce Tuckman, happened to be my professor, who spoke about team stages. And when teams come together, early on, there is forming and there is storming and fighting and everything else. So there are team stages and there are things you can do for a team to be effective and cohesive. So that's my my response, and hopefully it got you thinking. Maybe we can talk more. Anybody else with any insight on this? Anything on the chat with any responses? Francis, how does that come close? We can talk more.
I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. God bless you. I am blessed by your explanation. I'm so blessed. Thank you.
Wonderful. So, Mary, you mentioned what are the skills? Do you mind explaining that if you are in the room, please? Mary? Is Mary there? She may have gone. She has to go. Hey, people have to go back to work, right? So if someone has an answer, I'm not sure, because these are the behaviors, and maybe there are underlying skills, maybe on timeliness, maybe there is a time management skill that can be developed. Maybe on responsiveness, maybe there is a practice on compliance. I know one of the things my team does is we write proposals and we do a compliance checklist. What does a client want? What time do they want us to submit? How many pages does it have to be? So maybe I think perhaps if you are talking about underlying skills to develop these behaviors, one thing I do if I want to learn more is to type, communication. How to communicate, and look for, maybe some YouTube or some articles. So maybe that's one way to develop that skill. If anyone has any opinion on that, I'm wide open. Uh-oh, we are over time. Sion, back to you.
Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, everyone, for attending today's special presentation. Today's special presentation is on a Friday. We did as a holiday gift. Our monthly program or webinar will be every Thursday, the second Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. So I encourage you to come back and attend our webinars. Thank you again for everyone. And also I'd like to encourage you to visit Community Career Promoters website to find a recording of our presentations. This presentation and all other presentations will be found there, and you can get all kind of resources. Thank you, everyone, and I wish you to have a very happy Christmas and New Year and prosperous week for everyone. Enjoy your days. Hope to talk to you and to see you all next time. And it's a goodbye from me. Bye-bye.
So I just want to say for those who are listening, ICAT is holding a webinar next Thursday. So we'll send you an invitation. I think, Francis, this may be of interest to you. The topic is one team always, how a diverse team can focus on a mission. So perhaps all of you are invited. And if you are on our mailing list, we send you all the recordings of the career webinars, as well as the ICAT professional development webinar recordings for free. So I hope you can enjoy them and pass on to other people and teach us. And if you want to speak in one of our forums, please let us know, and we'll hear your story. Thank you.